comes to mind when you think of Mike Posner?
I used up all of my tricks. I hope that you like this, but you probably won't. You think you're cooler than me.
In his first hit single, his image was made very clear. This is an artist who was, well, cool. The haircut, sunglasses, leather jackets, and the beat of the track just so plainly told the audience that Posner's music was meant for having fun. The track gave vibes that you could imagine being enjoyed at parties or played loudly in a car with friends. Sitting at 114 million views on YouTube, Cooler Than Me comes only second to his massive 1.6 billion viewed video, the remix of I Took a Pill in Ibiza. Now, when I first heard Mike Posner, it was probably with one of these mega hit songs. Electronic, pop, and generally mainstream in sound, with a pumping beat and bass drops.
Baby, please don't go. If I wake up tomorrow, will you still be here?
On the surface, I really didn't see anything deeper about the artist behind the music. I enjoyed the music well enough, but maybe not as much as others. I'm not usually a party pop song kind of guy.
Baby, please don't go.
He released 2 new tracks. While these new songs were still popular enough that you probably recognize them when you hear them, they got about half the attention on YouTube as his first hit, Cooler Than Me. The downward trend in popularity was enough to really bother Posner.
I appreciate it. For the record,
Because he meditates.
this song came out as this giant hit, and I thought, well, that's just what happens when I put out songs. Like, it's my first single, and it's big, you know. And I'm like touring around the world, taking my shirt off at shows, making more money than I deserve. And then strange thing happened. I put out another song after that, and it like wasn't really a hit. And then the next one after that sort of like was even less of a hit. And this trend sort of just continued until my career was considered all the way over.
Once I throw on this, it's over, girl.
It was in this period, when he made these 3 tracks, that Posner was still focusing on making a pop sound, intended for mass appeal, for mass sales. But this image he put on at the time was just part of his personality. There was more to Posner than he was letting on, more personal depth and reflection. But it would take a couple of years of decline in popularity before he would let it out with as much confidence as he would eventually.
But in times of trouble, I can turn to my mother, and I know that she gon' understand. So at age 26, I spoke to my mother, and she told me, young man, there are moments when you fall to the ground, but you are stronger than you feel you are now. You don't always have to speak so loud. No, just be as you are. It doesn't matter if you...
Does that mean he was being fake in that early hit period? Did he only do what he did to make more money, to get more fame, and to get more people into his concert seats? Was any of it real? Honestly, I think some of it was. I think he just exaggerated some of it for our sake.
Sometimes I started writing songs when I was 8. I'm 28 now, so I've written a song every single way you could imagine.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I think Posner is a human being like anyone else and has multiple things about himself that he could show people. We can't just sum people up by one thing or another that they do, that they present to us.
Every 2 years or so, I like to shatter the definition that I've made for myself. So sometimes I change my hair, or I change where I live. Most recently, I just was sort of tired of being in LA, and I just packed up. I have this conversion van, it has like a bed in the back, and I just left. Not because it's easy, because it's hard. It forced me out of my rut. So it's like, okay, you're not the popular Venice Beach guy in LA anymore with all your friends. Who are you? Now you're in a city or a town in Colorado in the mountains where no one knows you, who are you then? And so for me, it's a peeling back of layers, getting to who I really am.
We have layers, and so does Posner. Yes, he enjoyed that music and dressing up in leather jackets and nice shoes. He enjoyed being who he was, but he was missing something. It just wasn't his full self. It wasn't in proportion to how he saw the whole person he was. He took all of this reflection and put it into his music with the release of I Took a Pill in Ibiza.
I took a pill in Ibiza to show Avicii I was cool.
Though most people probably only know about the remix.
I took a pill in Ibiza to show Avicii I was cool. And when I finally got sober, felt 10 years older, but it was something to do. I'm living out in LA.
This version of the song currently has 1.6 billion views. It's his highest viewed video on YouTube, and it's what most people probably know him for today. And even though the remix, the popular version of the song that propelled him into the mainstream fame again, sounds like that familiar poppy bass dropping sound, the lyrics are actually telling a different kind of story, unlike anything we've heard before from his previous hits.
Sad souls, darling.
It goes on. But you don't want to be like me, never really knowing why, like me. I can't say this, like, this only really works if you sing it, I guess. You don't ever want to step off that roller coaster and be all alone. Then, 2 years later, in 2017, these lyrics would take on a deeper meaning when John Posner, his dad, died from brain cancer. Just a year later, his friend and fellow music artist Avicii died, and this was the very same friend Posner sang about in the Ibiza track.
I took a pill in Ibiza to show Avicii I was cool. And when I
Now, with a song that was written before these losses occurred, it would seem almost now as if it was written for his father and friend in mind. So when Mike performed this song on stage after this point, it was with an entirely new look and demeanor that reflected his newfound sadness.
And when my dad died, I realized everyone wants you to forget you're gonna die. Because if they convince you you're not gonna die, you waste your time doing what they want you to do. Spend money on what they're selling. And it's like Dad died, then my friend Avicii died, then my friend Mac died. And one day I'm gonna die. But before then I'm gonna live the way I wanna live. I hope you do too.
I took a pill in Ibiza to show Avicii I was cool. And when I finally got sober, felt 10 years older. It was something to do. I'm living out in LA. I drive a sports car just to prove I'm a real big baller, cause I made $1 million and I spend it on girls and shoes. You don't wanna be higher like me, never really knowing why you like me. You don't ever wanna step off that roller coaster and be all alone. And you don't wanna ride the bus like this, never knowing who to trust like this. You don't wanna be stuck up on that stage singing, stuck up on this stage singing. Oh, I know sad songs, darling. Oh, I know sad songs.
Gone is the pursuit of fame and celebrating the party scene. In its place, Posner was using his music and time on stage to explore himself more, a side of himself that never had a chance to find as much spotlight in his past hits, when he was trying to impress everyone else and exaggerate that part of him. He starts to reflect on where his success came from in the first place. How when he first performed, it was what the mainstream audiences wanted to see more. The partying, pop, bass-dropping, cool guy. And after experiencing what kind of success, what kind of life resulted from that crowd-pleasing style, he was ready to move on. He was ready to share the rest of him and explore his own life in his own way. He's since climbed mountains, walked across the country, and released new music. He enjoyed the audiences. He enjoyed the vibe of being cool and famous. But what we're seeing in his music now is another side. Thank you for watching.
Hoodie on my head, cold breath in the air. People walking by like I'm not even there. Last 3 nights felt like 100 years. I get paid for my pain, long as I can make it rhyme. But sometimes I can't tell if it's even mine. Either way, it's beautiful, look at how it shines. It sounds like ooh, it's all in my head. Lightning and thunder and ooh, I'm not dead yet. In case you were wondering, this is what a sad song sounds like. It's been playing in my head for my whole life. It's beautiful and cruel at the same time. Ooh.